of 25 promising careers for the present and 10 promising careers for the future, 13 of those listed were in healthcare. And they were rated based on a strong outlook for employability, good salary, and very good job satisfaction.
One of my favorite things about this event is that we were able to have breakout sessions for the students. So we had the big group session, and then we had a separate half-hour breakout session for 3 different career clusters: nursing, imaging sciences, and then the last one is for EMT and fire science.
One of the best things in this event was the speakers that we solicited for the high school event that we did. They were young professionals, just graduated, starting their career. They were enthusiastic, they had energy that they brought, and very engaging to younger high school students. And in the end, even after they spoke, the students wanted to go up and ask them questions and just engage in conversation, which I think really impacted the high school students.
We could have set a deadline for the speakers to confirm with us whether they were available or not. Then they could have told us yes or no. Instead, at one point we didn't have enough speakers. And then the next day we had too many speakers. And with student speakers, they have classes and clinicals, so it was really challenging to confirm whether they were going to be available or not. So I think that was the hardest thing about an event like this, to get student speakers available at the time we needed.
Volunteers are a very important part of having an event like this, and for the one event we did, we're expecting up to 300 students. So you needed to have a lot of volunteers in place. But that being said, I would make sure that every volunteer knew the duties that they needed, the responsibilities that they were given ahead of time, and that it was clear so that they would have the place that they need to be and be doing what is going to help out in the event. One example would be to have a photographer, a designated photographer, and have that person be the person that just covers photos and not hand the camera to someone who already has other responsibilities, but just have a designated photographer. Another would be a timekeeper, to have someone that would be in charge of the speakers, the MC, and just keeping the program on time and be aware of how the time is going and if it needs to be altered at all, and keep everything on track. Having someone responsible just for, if you're having food at the event, for the receiving of the food and making sure that it's delivered and it's set up and that it's ready when it needs to be ready. One of the more important players for us in our event, in planning the high school event, was keying into the high school counselors. We were fortunate enough to already have a network of high school counselors that we could solicit. And so as soon as we put the notice out that we were having this event, it was just within a couple weeks we had the event filled because of the response.
To put on an event like this, I think the most important thing was to have a team of people. We had one person who was the point person for an event. Of any size, it's always good to have one person. But then we had this team of people surrounding that person, and we met regularly the months following up to the event, just to make sure that everything gets done. We also relied on our advisory board, and we asked them advice and we asked them questions, and that really helped so that we could get good steering on an event like this.
One tip that I would have in planning an event, if at all possible, that you could include food. High school students love food, and especially pizza. So we went ahead and had food at our event. Our funding did not allow for us to pay for the food, but what we did is solicited donations from other companies, and they donated their funds for this event, and then we put that towards the food.
We really wanted to recognize our student speakers. They gave up their time to be there, and it was hard to coordinate the schedules, but they sacrificed sometimes class time or clinical time to be there. We really wanted to recognize them. So we made sure to motivate them to be there, but also to recognize them with thank you notes, certificate, and a letter of recommendation so that they can carry that on in the future. And they did a great job. They really took ownership, and they really took leadership roles in the breakout sessions, as well as speaking to the entire group. So definitely recognizing the speakers is important.